Former U.S. President Donald Trump wants to take control of Greenland, the largest island in the world. Back in 2019, during his first term in office, Trump expressed interest in buying Greenland. At the time, many people dismissed the idea as a joke. However, after Trump returned to power for a second term in 2025, he became far more aggressive about acquiring Greenland. Following the recent removal of Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro from power, the Greenland controversy has once again gained momentum. This time, Trump's proposal is being taken far more seriously. Moreover, Trump is no longer talking about purchasing Greenland with money. Instead, he is openly planning to seize control of the island. He has even stated that whether the people of Greenland like it or not, he will take over Greenland. So the big question is, what is so special about Greenland, currently under Danish control, that has made Trump so desperate to take it? This episode will explore the why, how, and what behind this issue. A brief history of Greenland. In the early 13th century, Norway took control of Greenland. Through subsequent agreements, Denmark gradually established authority over Greenland, along with Norway. In 1953, Greenland was officially declared an integral part of the Kingdom of Denmark. In 1979, the Danish Parliament granted Greenland home rule. Later, in a 2008 referendum, the Greenlandic people voted in favor of expanded self-governance. As a result, in 2009, Greenland formed its own government. Although Greenland now has its own prime minister, the head of state remains Denmark's king, Frederik Trump. As Greenland ambition when Donald Trump first became U.S. president, his 2019 interest in purchasing Greenland caused a global stir. Even before the proposal was formally presented, Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen called the idea absurd. Since then, Greenland's foreign ministry has consistently stated that the island is open for business, but not for sale. After returning to office, Trump renewed his push to acquire Greenland. He reportedly presented the proposal directly to Prime Minister Frederiksen during a phone call. Although Denmark has no intention of selling Greenland, it agreed to discussions due to fear of U.S. military and economic pressure. In early 2026, Trump stated that the use of U.S. military force to acquire Greenland was also being considered. In response, Denmark warned that any U.S. attack on Greenland would effectively end NATO. European leaders issued a joint statement warning Trump that Denmark and Greenland's territorial integrity must be respected. The U.S. interest in Greenland is not new. The idea of Greenland joining the United States did not originate with Trump, nor was he the first U.S. president to propose buying it. In fact, Denmark itself once wanted the U.S. to take control of Greenland. During World War II, when Nazi Germany occupied Denmark, the Danish ambassador in Washington urged the United States to establish military bases in Greenland to prevent German aggression. Over 100,000 U.S. troops and bombers landed in Greenland on their way to the European front. At that time, the U.S. realized Greenland's immense strategic value for maintaining influence over Europe and Russia. As a result, in 1946, President Harry Truman offered Denmark $100 million to purchase Greenland. Denmark rejected the offer, and both countries agreed to keep the matter secret. Soon afterward, both Denmark and the U.S. became founding members of NATO. To ensure NATO's security, Denmark allowed the U.S. to build military bases in Greenland. In 1951, the two countries signed a joint defense agreement. U.S. military bases still operate there today, many of which have since been converted into space and missile tracking facilities. Ironically, the country once entrusted with Greenland's security, the United States has now become the greatest threat to both Denmark and Greenland. Arctic rivalry. Russia and China. The U.S. claims that taking control of Greenland is essential to counter Russian and Chinese aggression in the Arctic. Russia has reactivated abandoned Arctic bases, deployed airfields, radar stations, missile defense systems, and nuclear submarines. One of the most sensitive strategic areas is the GIUK Gap, the maritime corridor between Greenland, Iceland, and the United Kingdom. Russian submarines pass through this corridor to reach the Atlantic. If this route collapses, NATO's defensive shield between the US and Europe would be severely weakened. Climate change has also accelerated Arctic ice melt, opening new shipping routes. These routes are significantly shorter than the Suez Canal and highly attractive for global trade. China, despite not being an Arctic nation, has declared itself a near-Arctic state and is eager to use these routes. If Russia or China gains control over Arctic shipping lanes, it could create a new global trade choke point where U.S. influence would be greatly reduced. Greenland's hidden wealth beyond security. The U.S. has strong economic motives. Greenland is believed to contain one of the world's largest untapped mineral reserves. In February 2025, a U.S. Senate committee hearing made it clear that Greenland is critical not only militarily, but also economically. Experts claim Greenland's coastline alone holds mineral resources comparable to the world's largest reserves. Rare earth elements, critical for high-tech and defense industries, are abundant there. In fact, the world's largest rare earth deposit outside China is located in Greenland. However, mining in Greenland is extremely difficult and expensive. In 2021, Greenland halted rare earth mining due to environmental risks, including radioactive uranium. Currently, only 2 mines operate on the island, employing roughly 100 workers. Political motivation. Whether Trump succeeds in taking Greenland or not, analysts believe the issue helps him politically at home. Just days ago, Trump's name appeared over 600 times in the infamous Epstein files, a major sexual abuse scandal in the United States. By reigniting the Greenland debate, Trump may be attempting to divert attention and protect his political standing. So what exactly are the Epstein files? And what do they contain? That is a story for another episode.